Last month's books started out on a pretty positive note. The first one was kind of good, really had fun with the second one, and the third one was expecting a little bit more. And then I don't know, it might be me, and I have to wait now and see what other people's opinions on this is and to find out, is it I'm the problem? Okay, we're gonna find out. I'm Morgan, and this is my February reading wrap-up for all the books that I did manage to read last month, which I didn't think was gonna be that many until events transpired. Yeah. Okay, the stats for last month, I actually managed to start 7 books, which was more than I thought would be happening in the month, especially because the keep it or list it never happened, but a different thing happened, which we'll talk about later. For the star ratings, the spreadsheet shows 2 4.5s and 1 4-star. Now, one of each of those are definitely, they deserve that. But then there's the other one that I think hovers somewhere in between those two variables, because I don't know. The spreadsheet gave it a 4.5, but I question, does it fully deserve the 4.5 or should it be a 4? Then we have 1 3.5, 2 3 stars, and 1 DNF. The formattings was 3 ebooks, and I do believe I counted the DNF in the 3 ebooks. 2 that were ebook with the audio mixed in, 1 that was a physical with the audio mixed in, for a total of 1,635 pages read, which is down from January. The month started off with the buddy read of February, which was Phantasma by Kaylee Smith, or Kaylee Smith. I have the review up for this one now. It finally went up Wednesday, and this was the 3.5. I should remember this. Is the 3.5. It is a dark, romantic-y, spicy romance fantasy book, following our main character Ophelia Grimm as she enters the Phantasma, which is a competition held at the House of Devils that if you can survive 9 nights there and going through 9 trials, right, yes, for the 9 circles of hell, then, and you're the last one left standing alive, at the end of the last trial, you win your heart's desire. Money, riches, health, pretty much anything. But every night the trials are supposed to get progressively harder, and in between the trials there are ghouls and various monster things that can, happen to you. They call them haunts, where they use the ghouls and the devils play tricks on the people there to try to get them to drop out. And yeah, so it's generally a bit disturbing. Our main character, Ophelia, though, is from a long line of necromancers, and she has just recently come into her power when this happens. She's not going for money or power or anything. She's going because after their mother died, apparently there was some financial problems with their house, and her younger sister entered Phantasma to help solve the problem. So Ophelia's like, nope, gotta pull her out, and goes in. Now you only see from Ophelia's perspective, though. Only see from Ophelia. And her head is a very dark, scary place to be because she has intrusive thoughts, and those are scary. And especially into this setting, though it was helpful for her because she's already used to questioning if what she's seeing is real. Whereas everybody else there is normal. So they're not used to having to question, and they fully believe the things that they are seeing at the place. And the spicy romance comes in when she starts working and starts falling for Blackwell, a phantom in Phantasma. He offers to make a bargain with her to help her survive the trials and be able to find her sister if she will help him find something within the Phantasma house. Like I said, full review. Mixed thoughts. After that one would be The Dark Forest by Shizin Liu. I also did the review for this one, but I'm going to plug the vlog because I think I did a better job on my spoiler vlog. Hopefully. It's been a while since I watched it, so hopefully. But if you would like to know the full spoiler thoughts and first thoughts as I was reading through it, you can check out the vlog now. This one is the second one in the Remembrance of Earth's Past trilogy, though, as we are at the center of the crisis point where Earth has been in contact with Trisolaris, and from that point to 200 years in the future, as we know that it will take 400 years for their space fleet to reach our solar system. And as humanity is in crisis, as we are trying to overcome this, overcome the science gap, overcome the sinking morale, that's probably a good one, sinking morale. And we are following a much larger cast of characters in this one, as we are seeing ones that are integral to the projects in the defense of Earth, integral into the Space Force creation, and so many things. Politics and battle schemings and psychology and brain chemistry. So many things in this one. Was a slow start though. I'll give it that part one was kind of slow. But when we have the time skip, then we get very interesting. This one still, we have very drier characters, but I feel like getting to see from multiple of them how characters reacting through someone else's eyes helps paint a little bit into that vein of what their emotional state actually is. So that's the actual only physical book I have to hold up. Yes, that's the only one. From there though was the buddy read of Carl's Doomsday Scenario by Matt Denneman. This is book 2 in the Dungeon Crawler Carl series. Now book 1 was my 5-star read of January. Best thing, hands down. Book 2, we are following along with Carl and Princess Donut as they have reached level 3 and get to pick now their class and race, and we were on level 3 the whole book. And that could, it's not like it's a bad idea. I just maybe wish a bit more had happened with the story, because it felt pacing wise a little slow and not integral to the overall story. I told Shelly it's like a filler episode to an anime where, you know, maybe we have some integral parts, but it's not hugely important. The first book was so much fun as you were following Carl and Princess Donut, who is a Persian show cat. And just, I love though this book, that was the part I kind of liked about it the most, is not seeing from Princess Donut, but just seeing how she's kind of growing up more, I guess. I mean, she's an adult cat, but now that she has awareness more and a different sort of intelligence, she's, you know, learning more about the world around her and just seeing how she's grown. It's so sweet. It's so sweet. That is what I'll say. So still looking forward to continuing the series, but now with that one tempered a little bit. This is the one that's, the spreadsheet said 4.5. I think maybe a 4. I don't know. For our other ones, these were all arcs, and I wanted to do a vlog where I just was reading all of them in a week to be able to highlight them, since they probably wouldn't get their own review videos and I'd only talk about them here. And I'm no longer sure about posting said vlog because we started with such optimism, and I feel like every clip my thoughts on the books just kind of got less and less, and I don't know if it's my take on the books. I don't know. The first one I'm sure I'm going to see several people talk about, and that is The Third Rule of Time Travel by Philip Fracassi. The premise sounds super cool. The year is 2044, and two scientists have invented time travel. The way it works though, it is cognitive time travel. You can only travel back into your own past, only for 90 seconds, and you can't alter anything. Like physically, you're not able to. You are pretty much just seeing through your past self's eyes. People around you though, if they pay attention, can also see that something is wrong with you, because apparently your eyes will do the shutter thing. Like she mentioned that, I think it was her husband's eyes would flicker between dark brown and like a white over them. And that's how she knew that he'd traveled from a future point back into that point at some point. So that was really cool. So the aspects of it, really cool sounding. She lost her husband a year ago. She's trying to still continue on with their time travel research at the company they work for, which is a mega billion tech company. But the CEO is kind of not wanting to continue to go, like, no, he completely invests into this project. But he wants her to kind of go faster with it, even though their team was slashed from like 19 people to now it's just her and an assistant. Well, not an assistant, but I don't remember Tariq's exact position, designation. So it's just those two. That's it. But things are starting to unravel as she's trying to hold on to the project and not be pushed out. And I will grant it has very cool aspects. Later book though, where it ended up, it was a bit, maybe we could have dug into that more, but we're already at the very end of the book, and it didn't. It was just resolving. Okay. But the biggest problem I had with this book was our main character herself. Beth Collins? I think it was Collins. I didn't like her. I didn't like her at all. It was very hard to root for her. Like once the twist started happening, I did enjoy it much more. And then by the end of the book though, it fell flat. It just fell flat and I couldn't. So I'm really excited to see what other people think of this book though, to see if it's just me. The next arc though, that was for this vlogging project would be When the Moon Hits Your Eye by John Scalzi. I was really hoping this was another like starter villain Kaiju Preservation Society, more so Kaiju Preservation Society, because I loved that book where starter villain was just okay. This was not funny. This is not funny. And that might be on me because I didn't fully, well, I read the description a bit. The moon is all of a sudden turned to cheese and we are following through different people's eyes to see how it is affecting the world and how it is affecting people in general. When I say different people's eyes, I mean every single chapter was pretty much from a different POV. We only saw through maybe 2 characters more than once. Every chapter is someone else. Sometimes these people are loosely connected, like you'll see some people show up through other people's eyes. So that was fun, but the fact that it isn't humorous sci-fi at all, it is a look into humanity and how we deal with crisis. So like what this book did in a serious note, but when this one is trying to do it in a serious note, it just wasn't working. Maybe because we were following so many different people. Maybe because of how it ended. And I'm just like, well, what was the point? But all of a sudden at 5 o'clock, I think it was on a Tuesday, 5 p.m. on a Tuesday, maybe, the moon turns to cheese. And not just the moon in the sky, all of the moon rocks on Earth are turned to cheese too. That was the really odd part. Like how, I get maybe something all of a sudden turned the moon to cheese, how all of the moon rocks scattered across the planet in containment facilities and stuff, how did they turn to cheese? And so understandably people are freaking out. The book takes place in a 30-day time span though. 30 days, that's it. From, new moon to other new moon. And it happens before the eclipse that was supposed to be happening in April. So the April eclipse is the end of it. Well, and that was the last day of the moon thing, and then the, months later, years later, I think the last page was 10 years later after the thing. So I didn't like that we were, different people every single chapter. I didn't like how some of the chapters, it starts you out and it's a little confusing because they're like, wait, this doesn't sound like what was happening. And then you find out that this was like a year before the cheesing. It's telling you this character from that point up until this point. And I'm like, why? But why? But yeah. At one point though, I was just rooting for Cheesemageddon. And I didn't even get that. I didn't even get Cheesemageddon. How do you know that you talk too much? Because your camera turns off. And I thought I was being brief. Maybe it's because I had to re-say something because I thought, oh, I delved too much and let's pull that back. And I don't know where I started, so let's just start over. Okay though, the next one. This one I feel really, really bad about because the author sent it to me. And I'm just maybe not its target audience, but at the same point, I don't know who the target audience is. That is Darkness Caused by Joe Chinakis. He said this is dark urban fantasy, horror, mature teen, new adult. We're following a cast of characters, though, in a small Midwestern town where a dark entity has woken up and is demanding one of our main characters bring it children to eat, because it devours children and then will erase them from everyone's memory, except for the ones it doesn't, and it lets people just live in, what's the right word? Misery? Yes, misery and fear, as, you know, they don't know where their children are. And there's missing posters, and they go on the news. And everybody knows that this is a widespread problem because there are tons of children missing. We start off with Christina, though. All of our main characters are going to be 15. We start off with Christina, as she is the one being contacted to bring it children. But this time, unlike 8 years ago when it destroyed kind of her childhood and her life, and her best friend Fiora was altered forever because it infected her, kind of. It is telling Christina, though, you're going to bring me these specific ones who are all other 15-year-olds, because she believes that it's afraid of them, that they can hurt it or destroy it. And you will see through at least 2 of them. I haven't seen what part 4 says, but... So she decides she's going to fight back. It tries to prove her wrong, that she can't fight back. And it's a whole thing. The problem I had, though, is that I felt like I was reading the same thing from a new character's perspective. Like, she did kind of a dumb thing. She went to go try to fight it herself. Next perspective, they do the same thing. Next perspective, they do the same thing. Well, except not fighting. They just, you know, they're just trying to go explore something, and then they get someone else taken, even though they know that the dark thing is there. And also, I did not like her attitude. She's 15. She's 15, and she's got the attitude of a grown woman. And I don't know. I don't know who exactly this book is targeted to. Maybe horror fans, maybe somebody will pick it up, because I think the bones of the story, the premise of it is really cool. It could be awesome. The delivery, though, I'm not as sure about. Now, by this point, obviously, I was on a downward streak of book enjoyments. Then I picked up Cat People by Tanya Guerrero. I still need to finish this one. I haven't finished it because I don't think this one will be bad. But I was obviously not in a great mood / mental state, and all of the characters in the book, because you're also multi-POV, every chapter is kind of from a different person, but I think we at least stop at 5 or 6 people. And they're all kind of going through some grief and life depression, life crisis things, so that was not the thing to be reading at this point in time. So I'm still trying to maybe do a chapter a day here and there, because I do need to finish it. I do need to finish it and write the review. And one of the perspectives is from the cat. That was really sweet. And I think the cat is going to be what brings all the characters together as they are in Brooklyn, and they all have some sort of interaction with the cat and some reason to. I really wonder about the half-sister right now. I want to find out about that, because right now she's coming off a little stalkery. But I will dive into that later. I would love to tell you the description for this book, but I don't remember it, and I didn't pull it up. So if you would like to see the vlog where I dove into all of these in more depth, let me know in the comments, and maybe I'll post it. I'm really not sure though. Really not sure. The last thing that I also kind of read in the month in between some of these was, listened to the audiobook for The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins again. Because my son started it and he's being his little snail's pace about it. But I listened to it. I was debating, trying to listen to all of them again before the release this month. But I was like, that's not entirely necessary, since this is a prequel novel coming out. But that was at least a bit happier of a moment. Hopefully your February books went better than mine, and I'd love to know what they are down in the comments. If you haven't checked out the Phantasma vlog, Sunshine is a guest star through pretty much the entire video. If you enjoyed this video, maybe hit the thumbs up button, check out some of my other ones, and subscribe. That way you can be notified when the new videos drop every week with the new releases or the review videos, like for the third book of that one. I hope you're having an excellent day though, finding something great to read, and I'll see you in the next one.